Ecological issues, they affect us all. And so, tonight on Second Nature, we'll be recycling some old nature footage.
Folks, ladies and gentiles, are you receiving my transmission? Am I coming through? Yes, a Wednesday night stream, folks. We've been doing a lot of catch-up this week. Ketchup or catsup, I'm not sure. But anyways, point being, is we got to get back to our roots. We got to get caught up on some Von Helton. There's still a steak. People are saying boiled steak. I hope not. Oh, my God. Yeah, he got a T-bone from the IGA. And, I'm a steak guy. To me, steak's got to be grilled. Grilled some way, even if you can't get out on a grill, a barbecue, whatever the case, wherever you're from, whatever you call it. At least like a George Foreman something. If you absolutely have to, you can pan fry it. I get it. And yes, I know there's some good recipes where you bake it, and it's all right. It's all right. I mean, any kind of steak is good, but if it's true this thing was boiled, some people even suggested microwaved. I doubt it. But what I'm here to see is Toothless Von Helton eat a T-bone steak. I will actually enjoy, in a sense, to watch that. I mean, the fact that this guy claims to be broke and go out and buy T-bone steaks, I find a little bit rich. But anyways, that aside, shout out to Nats in the Pizza. We'll be sharing the link quite frequently to his channel. Give him some love. If you like the Von Helton content, you're going to love it. His vault is deep. Folks, there's the link. Actually, you'll be getting it before you probably hear me. But anyways, so we're going to get caught up in some Von Helton. Now, for tomorrow night's show, just to let you know, I'm a poet, and you didn't even know it, folks. I still plan on doing something, but I do have to go out of town tomorrow, and it's going to take me to the very late afternoon or early evening before I get home, so I won't have time to actually throw a lot together. So it might be a light show. We'll do something. Now, I always say that, and it ends up being 3 hours anyways, but I'm just saying. We got lots of stuff still to catch up on. I've been looking more into this Boss Man Jack character. That dude, yesterday or whatever was, won 30 grand gambling, and he's broke already. Apparently he's done this a few times in the last few weeks. So think about that. In the last few weeks, if it's true, he's won like a 30 grand jackpot 3 times. That's like a really nice annual salary, right? Anyways, there's been rage, there's been tears. We'll cover a little bit of that. Rev and Shanny, the drama continues. I see they've put out some more stuff, so we'll have to get caught up on something tomorrow. But today, it's all about Vaughn, and we got a couple that we haven't checked out. Thanks to Nats in the Pizza, once again, where we're going to blatantly be stealing these clips from. One's a better part of an hour, I think, where he's ranting about the frost and Andrea and all kinds of crazy. It's like we've never heard this before, right, folks? And then, of course, we're going to start, actually. We're going to work out a sequence. We're going to start with the mukbang, as Nats calls it, which is pretty clever. But thank you, everyone that's drifted in. Please hit the thumbs up. I see you all out there. I see Baby Jane. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well. Baby Jane, actually, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she actually made this picture of Vaughn with the purple hood on that you see before you. So, folks, without any further ado, and we're going to do a little test here and make sure we can hear this. I think I got it set to the right audio settings.
Because I'm like a stuffed turkey for Thanksgiving. Stick me with a fork. I'm all done.
The great Gertrude Perkins has just donated £2 through Super Chat. Food poisoning by the Vaughn.
That's right. Food poisoning by the Vaughn, folks. So, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Give me a sec.
I haven't had a steak in such a long time, Vaughn.
I think that's coming through.
I haven't either.
So this is going to be a
that
really
will go
great
full
mukbang.
screen. Fuck it.
Every damn website, sear the steak. And how do you sear a steak? Oh, you got to put it in a pan. You got to bring the pan up to heat. Then you put butter in there. You put garlic in there, salt and pepper, and then you sear both sides of the steak. Then
Butter?
You want to be real fancy about it.
Then you take the fucker out of the skillet, and then you put it in the
Put it
fucking
in the
oven.
Yeah.
And that's so fucking. I mean, look, if
I
I'm
didn't
going to
go through all that trouble, Vaughn.
if I'm going to cook a goddamn steak in the skillet, then I'm going to cook it in the skillet. I'm not going to take it out of the skillet and then cook it in the fucking oven. That's stupid.
So whenever Vaughn's ready, we're gonna whip it out, man, and we're gonna have. You better share this link with your buddies, man. Get this link out there. We're gonna have a fucking awesome mukbang, baby. What happened? I can't hear you.
I said I was looking at it. It's cooking in there.
Okay.
I doused it in margarine. Well, first I put margarine underneath it, and I put margarine on there, and I did it like I was making a cake, like I was putting icing on a cake. And so we'll see how that does. We'll see how I used up all my margin.
You're a fucking crazy fucker. You know that?
I'm a crazy son of a bitch. Yes, but
one fucking
as long as
crazy
it's
son.
cooked. I mean, that's the key thing. Make sure your meat is properly cooked, because if it's not cooked all the way through, man, you can get bad sick.
Really?
James,
You
let's have a
really? You
chat,
don't like
huh?
you like it more than medium rare? Really?
No, I want my steak well done.
You want your steak well done?
Yeah.
You are really a fucking sick.
Now, I don't want it burnt. Don't get me wrong, because some motherfuckers, you want it well done. That means burnt, and so they fucking take a blowtorch to the fucker and burn it. Uncooked meat can make you sick, and I don't want to get sick. I was just in the fucking hospital throwing up.
True.
I don't need it again. I don't want to go through that shit again. We're going to cook this bitch. It's going to be
We're gonna
nice
cook
and
the
brown
bitch. Okay.
all the way
We'll
through.
leave it in at
bitch.
least 40 minutes. At least 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
At least 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Oh, Vaughn, you didn't tell me you're gonna get it. You fuck. Why didn't you wait for me, man?
Look at that. Look.
You didn't tell me you're gonna get it. I don't have
I'm
mine.
trying to show you. It's nice and brown all the way through. Look at that.
But I didn't get mine. Why didn't you tell
Because
me?
I wanted to show you that I cooked it
You were
all the
supposed
way
to do it
brown all the way
again.
through, and it turned out perfect. It turned out awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's a good piece of steak.
Here she lies in a fleecy gown, by my side in the eider-down, but she can't get a ticket to Morningtown, 'cause I've got restless legs. Boring, no, this film may be, slumber still won't visit these, so long.
Netherlands wants to shut down 80% of farms because of cow farts.
Yeah, because of stupid cow parts.
Milky drink and Sudafed, that should sort you out, she said, as I kicked myself clean out of the bed, grazed my restless legs. Homeopathic cures I've sought, all in all they've come to naught. I wish it was some astronaut who had these restless legs. 4:06 and I'm wide awake, got an uncontrollable urge to take a 5-mile hike around the
Oh, you're joking me, Vaughn. You're not eating your steak with ketchup. You fucking dog, you. Man.
No. Oh, you son of a bitch, VONHELTON.
Yeah, John, this steak is as big around as my head, bro. I mean, you got yours done so early because yours wasn't near as big as mine. Mine's huge.
You can't cut it and you have no teeth, you moron. But anybody out there know the old 96er? You guys remember that?
Yeah,
Mine
I
was
looking at a
literally as
fucking
big as
steak,
my
but-
head. I got the biggest motherfucker they have, man. $11 and what, 25 cents, I think it was. I put a hurt on it. I put a
Oh, you
max
got
hurt on it.
ketchup.
See, it's still fucking huge. It's still
Yeah, it is fucking huge. Yeah.
It's huge, man. It's a big ass thing. I'm like, man, I'm thinking I'll put the rest in the fridge for later or something, man.
Hey, yeah, not a bad
That's
idea.
That's a good sized steak. But I got the biggest one they have. I'm gonna save the rest of this for later.
You should, man. You can't eat all that steak in one go.
I'm gonna eat me a pudding.
Enjoy it later. Enjoy it for a snack later.
I'd say this is tomorrow's, man. I gotta eat the rest of this.
There you go, tomorrow.
Yeah,
that was a good mukbang, Vaughn. I'm glad we decided to eat a
steak
together.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, guarantee he's not even going to cover that. So, let's delve into this other one. Actually, I could have just got it from the side. I just noticed. So, folks, let's move on. Yes, Baby Jane, I'm glad to hear that things are getting better for you. Jeepers.
How long? A year?
Here we go.
Yes, Jim is suing him for $1,500, what he owes him. Plus, Vaughn's going to have to pay the lawyer. And if Vaughn don't pay pretty soon, Vaughn could go to jail for that. Because it was court ordered by the judge.
I ain't paying somebody that stole from me. Are you fucking high? No way. But we're doing a Sunday special because, well,
M.
as you can
Sorry
see-
Wilson has just donated $2. A healthy diet of Chef Boyardee, Little Debbie, Go Gert, and Uncrustables, and now well done steak. This 60-year-old man has the same eating habits of an 11-year-old.
Yeah, he doesn't finish his plate. And he chases it all down with Mountain Dew, folks. Thank you very much, Wilson. I do appreciate that.
Money. Lots of money. For me personally, we're talking about $32,141,500 and some odd change. That's what we're talking about for me. Now, that's a lot of money. But yeah, so, the main reason, for years I've been trying to get SSI and can't get it. And the reason why is because every time I call them, oh, well, you didn't pay in. Well, of course I did. I paid in. I was working 3 jobs a day in Ohio. 3 jobs a day. Landmark Ford, Carry Ford, and Airtight Windows. 3 jobs a day. 2 full times and a part time. I was working my butt off. What do you mean I didn't pay in? And then when I come down here, the first thing I did as soon as I got down here was get me a job in a factory working at Anvil. Funny how the trolls and haters never bring that up. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how the goddamn YouTube trolls never bring that shit up? Isn't that amazing how that is? I wonder why that is, folks.
Well, correction.
Maybe people need to start.
Correction. We bring up the fact that you never follow anything through in your life, and you're an utter failure at anything you've attempted. So that's not 100. We just can't cover everything that you failed at, Vaughn. We have to stay current, whether it's foam planes or die-cast racing or, brushing your teeth or,
Start asking serious questions like, hey, why did you guys ever mention the fact that he worked as soon as he come down to? And then when I wasn't working at Anvil, I laid carpet with a friend of mine. They won't tell you that either. Probably how I messed up my legs. The truth be known.
And that's when the 16-year-old
I laid carpet
folks
with a friend of mine.
So that's when he talked about marrying the 16-year-old, because he says that's when he was laying carpet with his friend. Because he claims everyone gets the vampire underage girl. That was a different incident, folks. Just so we're clear, the one that he's the 16-year-old that he should have married. He claims he was only 19, but he laid carpet in Kentucky after he moved there. Folks, he graduated. He was in the Army in like the early 80s, right? Like he graduated high school and stuff, right? He didn't move to Kentucky till way after. I'm just throwing that out there. So next time he talks about that, well, he'll never talk about it, but when you hear that clip again about him marrying the 16-year-old and he talks about when he was laying carpet with his friend, he was not 19. Okay, just do the fucking math. But this is also a man that believes his mom was like Rosie the Riveter during World War II or whatever, so...
I worked
not good with numbers, folks.
At Anvil. Plus, I worked 3 jobs up in Ohio, and plus I worked in the nursing homes. Not just my mother's, by the way. I also volunteered at Fort Hamilton Hospital in Hamilton, Ohio. Funny how the trolls never mention any of this, isn't it? Why? Because they have a narrative. The narrative is to make it sound like I'm some deadbeat fucker that never worked a day in his life. And then the fucking Frost goddamn attorney calls over to Corbin and says, yeah, he don't deserve no SSI. He never worked. He didn't pay in. And of course, Corbin's going to listen to the Frost lawyer because the Frost lawyer also happens to be a Kentucky congressman. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that interesting? He calls up the food stamp office, says, yeah, shut off his food stamps. I had to call a state supervisor to get my food stamps turned back on, folks. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. I'm over there starving to death in that single wide. I went from 250 pounds down to 218 pounds, folks. I literally was starving to death. Yes, I was. Well, Vaughn, isn't that attempted murder? Fuck yes, it is. But because he's a congressman, is he going to get away with it? Probably. Probably. But yeah, that's attempted murder. Fuck yes, it's attempted murder. Absolutely it is. But we're doing it within the auspices of executorship and such, Going to throw me out in 15 below zero temperatures. Folks, you know how long a human being lasts in 15 below zero? About 5 minutes. You become a human popsicle after that. You must find shelter immediately in those kinds of temperatures, or you will be a human popsicle. No ifs, ands, or buts. Did they know that? Of course they did. Of course they did. They had to. I mean, anybody can go online and find that information. I would have been the first Clay County human popsicle. So that's twice. Once with the food, once with eviction. That's twice. Seems like they want to kill me really bad, huh? Yeah, they do. But they got to do it the legal way, and the legal way ain't happening. Sucks to be them. And now I counteroffensive. Now I fight back. So now that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now I'm tossing them off the Sester property, which they got by illegal means. For those of you that have actually studied real estate law, you'll find that manipulating someone into selling their property is illegal. It is not fucking legal. It is illegal. You cannot manipulate a person into doing something. That's illegal. Did James Arnold Frost manipulate Alice Hilton into giving him the Sester property? Yes. Yes, he did. In fact, not only that, but they kicked me out of it. Folks, I was living on the Sester property at the time. I was living there. That was my home. And he comes over, he comes down here, he manipulates my mom with that stupid MK Ultra shit and gets her to kick me off the property. And then they come over there and you got to go right now. You got to go right now. You got to leave right now. And I'm like, well, let me get my ceiling fan out of the kitchen. No. You got to go right now. Because they knew they manipulated her. She'd been manipulated. Mom wouldn't have kicked her own son up out of his own property. No, she wouldn't have done that. What mother would have done that? Come on, use your brain, people. No mother would have done that to their son, okay? I mean, look at Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's a piece of shit, but you notice Joe Biden and Jill Biden aren't saying one word against him. Why? Because that's their son. That's their son. Of course they're not going to say one thing against him. That's their son. Even though he's a piece of shit, they're still not going to say anything because that's their son.
Just like in the case of Vaughn, who basically left his mother on the floor to die, right? Vaughn also is a piece of shit son, whose mother still coddled and looked after him. And, yeah, we'll leave it there.
Likewise, my mother would not have kicked me off that property. No fucking way in hell. So he used that fucking MK Ultra mind control shit to get her to kick me off the get her to kick me off the get her to kick me off the property. I want to make sure I said that right. But yeah. So now it's time for me to fight back. Now I'm punching back. And in the process, I'm going to get that Sester property back. I don't know if I can get Dad's stuff back or not because it was sold to a third party. Not sure how the legality of that works down here in Kentucky. Now in Ohio, I would be able to get that back. And then, of course, the party that bought it would be compensated. But here in Kentucky, they do things differently because they're a Commonwealth state. So I don't know how they would deal with that. I may not be able to get Dad's property back. We'll have to see. But in any event, I will get the Sester property. But either one way or the other. Either I can get it through the fact that they manipulated her out of it, or I can get it back through the fact that they've spent most of the $32 million and they'll have to give me the property to compensate. So either way, I'm getting the Sester property. Either way, the Frosts are going to have to get their happy ass back to Ohio, provided they don't go to jail first. So that's where we're at. And this is an open and shut case. He did walk into district court with a fraudulent document. There's no getting around that. And he can't feign ignorance. There's no way he can feign ignorance. He just can't. It's impossible. How are you ignorant over having a fake document in your hand? Plus, don't forget, they came into court with a fake eviction document, too. And thank God Mom was still alive at the time. She said, well, I never signed that. So, what'd you come in with that for? I never signed that. I never authorized that. Oops. I can't understand why he didn't get arrested right then on the spot. Because that was an obvious forgery. Why didn't he get arrested? Why didn't his attorney at the time get arrested? I don't know. If I'd have walked into a court of law with a fraudulent document, I'd have been arrested immediately. But I want to do things the hard way. Everything's got to be done the fucking hard way. So, okay. Everything's got to be done the hard way. And like I said, James Arnold Frost has a history of manipulating my mother. He manipulated her into selling the family businesses out from underneath me. Now, get this. Think about this, okay? My father and my mother both are training me to run those nursing homes, okay? My father's showing me how to run the boiler system, showing me the electrical system and, all that gobbledygook. And then mom is showing me, here's how you run the books. Here's how you maintain charts. Here's how you, check the patients every 2 hours, blah, blah, blah. All right. So my parents are teaching me, literally teaching me how to run that business. Not only that, but I was the one that spoke with the state of Ohio. When the state of Ohio would come in for inspection, guess who went with them? That would be me. I went with them. I went with them throughout the building, and they would inspect the patients. They would inspect the beds. They would inspect the walls, the floors. It's, literal white glove shit. And I went with them. We checked the charts. All the paperwork had to be just so. And so I was learning all that. And then out of nowhere, mom sells the family businesses to some fool in Columbus, Ohio that didn't even want them. We found out later. The guy in Columbus didn't even want the businesses. He said they were forced upon him by Alice, by my mother. Why? MK Ultra mind control. He manipulated her into selling the family businesses literally right out from underneath me. Vaughn, it sounds like this guy's got a vendetta. Fuck me, you think? You think he's got a vendetta? But it gets better, folks, because then he fucking goes to her again. He finds out, I don't know how the fuck he found out, but he found out that me and mom had an agreement. Now, you got to remember, this was years ago, okay? And at the time, my student loans were only $8,000. That was it, just $8,000. And mom absolutely hated my Rent-A-Center furniture.
Okay, this is a great story. So his debt, $8,000, and then he got an apartment, and he ran up a tab. Check this out. This is how entitled this motherfucker is. Check it out.
Absolutely despised it. And she said, "Look, if you take back this Rent-A-Center furniture, I will pay off your student loans." And I said, so I take back $12,000 worth of furniture, and you pay off $8,000.
So in the early 80s, $12,000 worth of furniture, folks. $12,000 in the early 80s in Kentucky. I guess this would be Ohio, sorry. Let that sink in for a second. So Vaughn has held it against his mother and complained about this for years. What kind of deal is this? He has an $8,000 student loan, $12,000 Rent-A-Center debt, and the quote-unquote deal is she'll pay a chunk of his debt. That's not a deal. There's nothing in it for the mom, right? But he sees it as a deal, right? Oh, that's a deal. You only have to pay part of my debt. I'll pay the bigger part, which he probably never did. He just returned the furniture, right?
For student loans. I said, that sounds like a fair deal to me. And so we agreed.
Yeah,
now,
fair deal.
I didn't have anything in writing, sadly, but it was my mom, right? And I wasn't expecting somebody to go right behind me and fucking manipulate her like that. But he went right behind me and manipulated her into not paying off those student loans. So what happened? Well, the student loans ended up hanging over my head like a sword of Damocles. Couldn't get a job, couldn't get cars, See, folks, business checks your credit, all right, before they hire you. So if you got bad credit, you can't get a job, especially in Ohio. You can't get a job. They won't hire you. They look at your credit.
Oh,
if
come
you
on.
got bad credit, like student loans.
Yeah, so this is coming from a man who obviously has not held jobs. I'm not ever held jobs, but not to the extent that he's talking about. If that is the case, Mr. Helton, then how did you get the job in the factory? And the laying carpet job. Okay, maybe you can't get a job in a loans office or a fucking bank or something, right? I know there's some jobs where your credit and your history with that stuff kind of matters, but you ain't working in those places, right? There's no reason you couldn't be a greeter at Walmart. Though I will say, if I walked into a Kentucky Walmart and this motherfucker was standing there as the greeter, I'd probably think twice about going to that Walmart. But that's besides the point. Folks, thumbs it up, please.
They won't hire you. They just won't. Couldn't get a job, couldn't get a business loan, couldn't get a car, couldn't do anything. And them student loans was held over my head like a sword of Damocles, literally ruining my entire life. So yeah, the guy's got a vendetta, a big one. And it started way back before I was even an adult. And I'd say, well, Bond, what in the hell is that? What does that all mean? Buddy, I don't know. I do not know. I wish I knew. I've been approached. I've been approached by the authorities, behind the scenes. Like, what's this dude's major problem with you? I said, I don't know. I never associated with these people in Ohio. I never went around and hung out with them in Ohio. The only time I ever meet the Frosts would be at family reunions. That's it. And even at the family reunion, they wouldn't hang out with me. They're off doing their own damn thing. So what's up with that? Well, the only thing I can figure is that they didn't like the fact that Mom.
If you go back in time, folks, those of you who've been around a minute, you'll remember when Vonhelton went without internet and he was uploading from a family member's house, and that family member was Larry. And it was Larry that had all remember the cardboard fucking Bristol board? I can't remember what the fuck it was, but the handwritten genealogy of the Frosts and Heltons proving that he was like 165% Cherokee. You guys remember that? That was Larry. Back then they were related. There was no problems. Oh, that must be Mandela effect. Pardon me, folks.
Mom and Dad married each other. That's the only thing I can come up with. But now, why in the fuck they target me? That's not my fault. I mean, it's not my fault that Mom and Dad got together. That's not my fault. But I guess they see me as the epitome of everything wrong, And so that's why they've targeted me from the beginning, from the inception. Now, who was it that manipulated my mother into leaving 2 blockages in my father's chest? A 100% blockage and a 75% blockage. And don't sit there and try to deny me that this shit didn't happen. I was right fucking there when her and the doctor were talking. So don't sit there and say I didn't hear this. I was right there when they said it. 100% blockage and a 70. Left it in his chest, and guess what? Oh, he expired. Wow, what a shock, right? You leave a 100% and a 75% in somebody's chest, of course they're going to fucking die. Now, who was it that could have manipulated her into doing something like that? Well, the only person I know that has MK Ultra mind control technology would be the Frost. Because I sure don't. I have the ability to fight it. I have the ability to repel it. But I don't have the ability to use it. So my father dies in 2006, 2007. Just recently, just a few years back, my mom passed away. James Arnold Frost comes over here to the double wide and sits his ass down in that couch right over there and turns to my mother. I'm sitting there across the way watching, and he turns to her and says, "You need to call the sheriff and have Andrea arrested. She broke the law." Mom gets up, doesn't even ask any questions, doesn't turn to look at him funny or nothing. Just gets up, goes to the phone, grabs the phone, calls the sheriff, and hangs up the phone. And I'm just sitting there watching this shit in disbelief. Because it's one thing to hear about it. It's one thing to think about it. It's quite another thing to actually see the shit happen in real time. I watched this shit happen in real time. And she just gets up stone-faced and just goes and grabs the phone, calls the sheriff, just pretty as you please, plops back down in the chair. Not one question, not one inquisitive look, not one anything. Nothing. Blank stare. I thought, that's peculiar. Now, I didn't mind at the time because I knew that me and her had just come from the courthouse, and that we hadn't committed no crime. So I wasn't worried about it. You know, I let it ride because I'm like, well, hell, we didn't break no laws. He's full of shit. And I think I might even said that. I said, you know, I probably even said that you're full of shit. We just come from, folks, if we had broken the law, then courthouse officers would have never let us leave the building. Okay. So it's fascinating. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, even if he did get her to do that, it doesn't matter because we never broke the law. So we'll be fine. Well, I didn't anticipate what happened next. So we're sitting there waiting. Here comes the deputy sheriff. Deputy sheriff comes out, pulls into the driveway. Me, Mom, and Andrea go out there to meet. The kids are watching from the kitchen window, by the way. All three of them. So they're all three watching from the kitchen window. Deputy sheriff comes out, and he gets on his computer in the cruiser. And he's looking around. He says, she never committed no crime. And at that point, Mom flies into a rage. I mean, a full-blown motherfucking rage. Blood red eyes, the whole works. Starts screaming at the top of her lungs, I want her off the property now. She screamed so loud, I know they had to hear her at Rock Castle Church down the road there. They had to have. They had to have heard her. I want her off the property now. Who does something like that, folks? Who acts that way? There's only two possibilities. Somebody that's demon-possessed or somebody that's under mind control. Pick one. I win either way. I win either way. Pick one. That's the only two options you got. Demon possession or mind control. Pick one. Because that was not normal behavior. No fucking way. And to be quite honest, I was afraid the deputy would arrest her, but he didn't. So she's sitting there screaming bloody murder at this deputy. And then finally the deputy, I guess, in sheer frustration, grabs Andrea and takes her off the property. My three children watched that happen from the window. They watched their mommy being handcuffed and taken off the property for doing absolutely nothing wrong. And that piece of shit down the road named James Arnold Frost was the one that did it. There's no getting around that. There's no denying it. There's no shirking it. They say, well, Vaughn, why would he break up your family like that? Because it's easier to get me off the property that way. It's harder than hell to get a family off the property.
So now it's all. Anyways, Vaughn is conveniently leaving out the part that Andrea had a restraining order against her at the time. So this is, a minor detail. A minor detail that VONHELTON has left out. And, I mean, why would Ma Helton want the woman? This is after the assault where Andrea assaulted the mother. And just a little tidbit of information. I've dropped this before. But a lot of people throughout the years didn't know exactly what had transpired. I mean, you only go by Vaughn's version of events, right? But I happened to know somebody who was very close to Andrea at the time on Facebook, and Andrea spilled the tea of what actually went down. So I've told this before, but for those that may not know, what actually went down, what the argument was about, was Ma Helton was lamenting that she was constantly being left with the kids for like 8 hours, 9 hours. She was feeding them lunch, dinner, breakfast a lot of the time. And she simply asked if they could use some of the food stamp money to provide some food for the kids, because she's basically going broke feeding them out of her own cupboards, right? Which, of course, completely insulted Andrea. And Andrea ended up popping her into the chops. So that's actually the story of what that was all about. Just to set the scene here, folks.
Any real estate agent, they'll tell you. Ask any real estate agent. It's harder than hell to get a family off the property. But if you can break that family up, then it's real easy to get the property away from somebody. But it's harder than hell to get a family off property, man. Ask any real estate agent. So it was all by design, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It's all by design. Every bit of it by design. And then now I take their fucking ass to court and I get back my inheritance, and I'm going to try to get back the kids as well. Hopefully I will. And we're going to fucking put this shit back the way it was before these frosts came down here and meddled in my affairs. Remember, folks, I'm handling my mother's finances before the frost came down here. I got an accommodation from the bank. I did such a good job. Isn't that amazing? But we're gonna make damn sure that everything gets put back the way it was before they fucking come down here. And they're gonna give me back every dime of my $32,141,500.52. What was done to my family should never, ever be allowed to be repeated again. You know, like I said on John's live show yesterday, I'm the poster child for online terrorism. I mean, I'm the poster child. Ain't nobody been treated like shit more than me. Nobody. So, yeah. Now it's time for me to fight back. And I intend to do exactly that. And I went and took my document. I went to an attorney, a local attorney. I said, you know, check this document, make sure it's legal, make sure I can use it, blah, 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 blah. He went in there, went on his computer, checked everything, said, yep, totally legal. I'm like, all right, cool. So my document has been approved for use. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to turn it in, pay my fee, get it notarized by the notary. And then we're off to the Camptown races, boys and girls. Now you say, well, Vaughn, do you have any proof of all this crap you said earlier? Absolutely. I've got the entire staff of Center Haven Nursing Home, and I got the entire staff of Helton's Nursing Home. And I'll just ferry them in one at a time to testify under oath. Hey, man, did Mom say that James Arnold Frost told her to sell those? Oh, yeah, I heard her say it. I'll just ferry witness after witness after witness after witness one at a time. And then when James Arnold Frost told Mom over the phone that he wasn't going to give her back her lawn equipment, he wasn't going to give her back her money, he wasn't going to give her back her guns, the house was packed and he was on a speakerphone. I'll start ferrying those witnesses in.
Well, just because you witnessed, like, even if it was all true, and I'll give that a like. Even if that was all true, at least the first part, Vaughn, that Larry or James Arnold or whoever told her to sell the home and she did, that's not illegal, right? You got to prove like the MK Ultra part. Just because your ma took advice from somebody doesn't make it illegal, Vaughn. Just because she changed her mind and sold those homes and used the money for her own retirement, that's not illegal. That's not attempted murder because people expect you to look after yourself. I'm just saying, folks.
I'll start ferrying those witnesses in. And they'll testify. Yep, he said it. I heard him say it on speakerphone. He said those words. Said, I ain't giving you back nothing. And then hung up the phone angrily. I ain't giving you nothing back. Click. So there you go. Well, where I come from, we call that grand theft. I don't know what y'all call it, but we call that grand theft where I come from. I ain't giving you back your money. I ain't giving you back your lawn equipment. I ain't giving you back your guns. I ain't giving you back your jewelry. Where I come from, we call that grand theft. You call it whatever the fuck you want, but we call it grand theft where I come from. So, are the Frosts in deep shit? You bet. Are they going to be able to wiggle their way out of this? No fucking way in hell. No fucking way in hell are they going to wiggle out of this one. I'm telling you, somebody ought to be calling CPS and tell them to get in that little silver minivan and going and getting my kids and bringing them back. You know, if my kids should suddenly turn up, say today or tomorrow, before I file, I might overlook the whole damn thing if I get my kids back. But nobody seems to be too eager to call CPS to go get my kids and get them back here to this house. So, looks like I'm going to be filing, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Because I said that, what, a week ago? I said, hey, go give me my kids back, and I'll overlook the whole damn thing. But nope, can't do that. So, okay, I throw everybody in jail. Anybody that had any association with the Frost at all is going to prison. Yeah, they are. Because I'm going to insist on it. And it doesn't matter because, the Frosts are going to squeal like little pigs anyway. Well, so-and-so helped me, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did. They're going to squeal like little pigs because they're not going to want to go to jail by themselves. They're going to want to take everybody that helped them with them. So they're going to squeal like little pigs, I guarantee it. They're going to finger everybody that helped them, everybody that had anything to do with the destruction of my marriage or the destruction of my finances. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because they're not going to want to go to jail by themselves now, are they? No. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, if today or tomorrow a silver minivan with CPS people and my kids in it suddenly shows up, either today or tomorrow, I might be willing to overlook the whole damn thing. You never know. Because at least with Jerry's $750 a month coming in, we can kind of survive on that a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going after him. I'm going to get all my shit. I'm going to get it all back. I'm going to get it all back, make everything back the way it was before the Frosts intervened, before these trolls intervened. Now you say, well, Vaughn, you can't bring your wife back. No, sadly, that's true. 5 mental conditions, folks. They were talking to her back behind my back on the other computer. I call it her computer because I was letting her have it. But letting her use it rather. But they were back there. I didn't know they were back there talking to her the whole time. And then somebody planted in her mind the idea of killing her children. Gee, I wonder who has the ability to control people's minds and manipulate people's minds. No, do you know anybody that can do that shit? Now, who would have the ability to plant a seed in her mind to kill her own children? Who would do that? Interesting, huh? But yeah, I'm talking to her in the car, and somehow, some way, I ended up finding out that, that had been put in her mind. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to take her to the hospital and tell them what's going on. I dodged a bullet. Somehow, some way, the gods revealed it to me, and I was able to get her out of here and get her to the hospital. Someone had put it in her mind to kill her own children. And I only know one person that has that ability, and it ain't me. Like I said, I have the ability to repel shit like that. I don't know how to do it. There's only one person I know that knows how to fuck with somebody's head. So now you figure it out. But they put a thought in her mind to kill her own children. And somehow the gods revealed it. And so I sent her straight to the hospital, buddy. I didn't even stop. I went straight to the hospital, pulled the orderly to the side and said, hey, she needs to tell you something. And I had her tell him, and his eyes got this fucking big. He's like, oh, well, we need to let you speak to somebody. We need to let you speak to someone. So I got her out of here just in the nick of time. They had planted that seed in her mind, and then they were going to spring her by using a keyword. And then as soon as they said a particular keyword, whatever that keyword might have been, she would have killed her own kids. I dodged a bullet. Saved the life of my children on top of it.
The Von Churian candidate, folks.
Funny how the trolls don't talk about that either. But that's okay. Nobody knows what's going on except me. And I'm going to make it right. At least till I can get into court and get this shit rolling. Hopefully make it nice and quick. Get my shit back right away so that I can get back to being a normal human being again. Because I tell you, this just barely exists and sucks. Okay? It sucks. And then, boys and girls, we see what we can do about these fucking online trolls wanting their lol suit. We'll get you your lol suit, don't worry. I am hopeful that I'm going to go into court. I'm going to get 100% victory. Well, I have to. I mean, he walked into court with with 2 fake documents. You know, why he wasn't arrested immediately, I do not know. But it doesn't matter. The point is that I can't lose. There's no fucking way I can lose this case. So, and then, like I said, the lawyers I spoke with, both the AI lawyer and the human lawyer, ironically, both of them said, make sure to get damages, penalties, pain and suffering. So, I'm going to get, now they said damages and penalties, but there's also pain and suffering as well. And so I'm going to try and get that as well. I'm going to get the maximum that the law will allow me. All right. But the lawyer was very adamant, especially the human lawyer was very adamant about it. He said, if I'm your attorney, you're not leaving there without your money, your kids, damages, and penalties. Now that's what the human lawyer said. And so I'm gonna try and express that to the judge that's what we're after. And then, like I said, pain and suffering on top of that. This should hopefully reverse a lot of things and try to put the ox cart back the way it goes, with the horse in front of the cart, not behind the cart. Hopefully. And these dumbasses say, oh, well, it ain't your money, it's Jerry's money. Hey, fucker, Jerry ain't 18. So who handles his money? Somebody's got to handle his money. Who the fuck handles it? The government? No, that's the last person you want handling Jerry's money. His father is supposed to handle his money until he turns 18. That's every family that does that, not just mine. But see, they had to say that to get the money away from me. And I already cleared it with Corbin anyway. I said, hey, can I use Jerry's money to pay bills? They said, absolutely you can. He has to live there too. And so, yeah, but they were saying, oh, well, you can't use Jerry's money to pay bills. Yes, I can. Corbin said so. So y'all are fucking liars, aren't you? Yes, you are.
To pay Jerry's bills.
As an excuse.
No. To pay Jerry's bills. So if Jerry is living there, then yes, household expenses that, you would incur for providing for Jerry, that's what the money's for. He doesn't live with you, Vaughn. You get nothing. You're not entitled just because you're biologically his father. Which folks, I'm just throwing out there, I think that's questionable, but anyways.
His money, rather. His money and the kids away from me. That's why you did it. But yeah, Corbin already said, yeah, man, and he's got to live there too. So yeah, you can pay the bills. I may just file today. Beat the Christmas rush. Or in this case, beat the Valentine's Day rush. I'm going to have a really nice Valentine's Day. Seems like. I'm going to have a really nice Valentine's. Because they're going to have to give me everything they got just to pay back all the money they spent. All them fancy cars, all them fancy four-wheelers with all the lights on them and shit. That's all got to come back to me. They're going to have to give me that shit, or they're going to have to sell it and give me the money. Because it's all coming to me. Everything. Like I've stated, I don't give a damn what Clay County does with the frost. As long as I get my money and I get my kids, I don't give a damn what they do. Because they've destroyed them documents by now. The World War II documents and the war bonds and the treasury bills and certificates of deposit, and there's still insurance policies out there. They give me the Frost did. I will say this: the Frost did give me some old insurance policies from years ago, and of course, where's the current ones? Well, don't know. Where's my truck deed? Where's the title deed to my truck? They never gave that back. I had to file a lost title to get tags on my truck. They wouldn't give me back the title deed to my truck. So, but that's okay. Everything's going to be made right. Everything's going to be put back the way it was before the frost came down here and before the trolls intervened. It's just a shame that Andrea can't enjoy it or my parents can't enjoy it. But maybe my kids can. And don't forget, boys and girls, my kids lost everything. They lost their childhood. They lost their father, their mother, both sets of grandparents. You don't think they're going to sue the fuck out of these goddamn YouTube trolls? Of course they are. Of course they are. And they deserve it too. They absolutely deserve it. Man, oh man. This should never, ever be allowed to be done to a family ever again.
All right, so that's getting caught up with Vaughn. But since we're all here together, we'll take a look at a couple other videos. Again, check out Nats of the Pizza. Go subscribe. He's got all kinds of, like I said, the vault is deep, and there's many shorts. There's many, all kinds of things. So let's tell you what. Let's do something kind of interesting. Let's see if there's any playlists set up. You know what? I just want to let the shorts go. And yeah, like, I mean, look, there's tons of stuff over here, folks. You should be checking this out. But let's check out this, folks. If you're just joining, thumbs it up, please.
Vaughn, it says here that you earned $4.50 over the past 50 years.
Only get $4.50.
That's all you earned over the past 50 years is $4.50. It says.
Is that what it says?
You're 59 years old, right? Born in October.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It says your total you've earned is $4.50, even when you're in the military.
Holy shit!
Of course.
Be sure you get a bath and deodorant and stuff on.
Of course, Mother. Of course.
Well, I just wanted to remind you.
I know.
Clean socks. You've been wearing them socks a month.
Yeah, I know.
Socks. They have to be, but if not, I'll find some of your dads over here.
I know.
Okay?
You keep forgetting the Frost stole all my guns. And they stole my mother's guns as well. They came down here from Ohio, they stole my mother's guns, stole my guns, and I filed a report with the police. Police didn't do shit. So
you're never gonna see those guns again.
Well, of course not. That's why I switched over to Magic. They were amazed that I was able to maintain my composure through the whole thing. They said, "How did you do that?" I said, "I got a will of iron, brother," and I do. Over the years, how many computers I've lost, how many hard drives I've lost because these fuckers kept getting in my computer and fucking my shit up. And then not that long ago, I lost $3,300 because they got in my fucking bank account and fucked that shit up. Okay, I don't like losing $3,000, people. So yeah, I'm hooking up with LifeLock for real, and they're gonna monitor every fucking thing I own. And then if you try to fuck with my shit again, your ass goes to prison for real. I started the truth movement. I started the prepper movement. All these popular conservative things that everybody's, takes for granted today almost. I started all of them as a junior in high school. I eat all the time. Drives the trolls nuts too.
I don't know why they don't like that, us eating.
I don't know. They don't want us doing well, and I guess food would be equated to doing well, and so they don't want us to do well.
That's true, right? They don't want us doing well. That's what it is.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. And once again, I've been accused of looking like Jesus. I thought sure I got out of that shit.
Must be
But apparently I did not. Anyway. So yeah, I got accused of being Jesus one more time, but that's okay. It's all good. I'm used to it now. Because, you know, when I was younger, I actually looked like Jesus. And everybody started calling me that shit, and it was...
What you eating?
Mm-hmm.
What are you eating?
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, remember when the trolls made fun of me eating pheasant under glass? They made a big fucking issue about it. I eat fancy dishes all the time. I do. I eat fancy dishes all the time. I just don't say much about it. You know, just because I run out of money doesn't mean it's over. So if that's what you're counting on, trolls and Frost, that I'm going to run out of money, yeah, think again, because that's not going to happen. The gods will make sure of it. And remember, Frost, you owe me $32 million in cash and documents and jewelry. You might want to be coughing that shit up while you got the chance, because if I ever go to court, you're going to have to go to jail and cough it up anyway. So it's in your best interest to give me my shit back. Because you are going to give it back one way or the other, whether you like it or not.
All right, folks, I don't want to play all the content. If you want to see more, go over and see Nats and the Pizza. Here, I'll share the link one more time. Give the guy a sub, a like. What the heck? What do you got to lose? So there it is, folks. I want to thank you all for joining me, getting caught up with the whole Von Helton sphere. I know there's probably much more I'll have to sift through. Give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Like I said, tomorrow night I'm still planning to do something, a weirdo wonderland of some form or another. I'm not sure. Like I said, I got to go out of town. I'm not going to get back till late, so I won't have a lot of time. But I say that all the time. It ends up being like 3 hours, and it's a good time, folks. I try my best to give you the quality that you've come to expect and quite frankly deserve. But I want to thank you all for joining me one more time. And folks, we'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully.